What is going on, everyone? This is NinjaGeek here. Welcome back to another video. Today, we're going to be taking a look, an insight into Blackout, the new Battle Royale style game mode in Black Ops 4. Now, my opinion comes from a background of not really enjoying or playing loads of Battle Royale games, so I am fairly new to the genre, as the genre is new itself, and since I've mainly played multiplayer for years and years, starting with Black Ops 1, the original Black Ops, I had more things to say in my extensive review of the multiplayer, so this review isn't going to be as extensive or as nearly as extensive as that, but it's more or less just my thoughts and opinions on the game mode, and I feature very vastly different opinions than a majority of the Call of Duty community as well as the Battle Royale community, and I'm not ashamed to admit my actual feelings on the game, and I'm not here to accuse anyone else or make fun of or what have you of other people and their opinions. And I think that you can kind of see where I'm going with this. So anyways, without further ado, I want to start off with the basic yes or no question. Like, is Blackout going to save, in other words, Black Ops 4? Or should you buy Black Ops 4 because of Blackout? You know, pretty much we know what multiplayer is. You know, multiplayer has been around for years in Call of Duty. It's a staple game mode. It's always going to be there. With zombies, you know, that's been there in Treyarch, in every single Treyarch game from, you know, World at War, Black Ops 1 and onwards, and here we have it here in Black Ops 4. So yeah, there's a lot of new and cool stuff with that, and I'm really excited to get into that when we get the full game. But zombies is zombies, you know, ultimately we've had zombies before. But Blackout is entirely new, because we've never seen a Battle Royale Call of Duty before, and it's, you know, fairly accurate since Battle Royale is a newer style of genre. It's not completely new by you know, today's standards, but it's a lot newer of a genre than the zombies game mode or games or regular multiplayer which has been around for years now. So it's a different take on a multiplayer style game, and Call of Duty or Activision and Treyarch, I guess I should say, did their own take on Battle Royale here with Blackout. And my instant answer, if you should buy this game or for the game mode or not, is basically, if you enjoy Battle Royale games, then you're most definitely going to enjoy Blackout. You know, coming from a perspective, I can absolutely see why so many people that like Battle Royale games would love Blackout, because it sort of combines different elements of other Battle Royale games, such as like PUBG, from what I have heard. It combines elements from that. It's very Call of Duty-esque and has a lot of smoothness to it, even though, you know, some of the graphics aren't there, which we'll probably get into later on. So you will definitely enjoy it most of the time if you are a fan of Battle Royale. However, if you're going into this as a new player who's pretty much played Battle Royale before, because let's face it, I think that at least 99% of all gamers have at least tried Fortnite, and if you haven't gotten into it, haven't liked the Battle Royale genre, you're most likely not going to like Blackout. And this is where my opinions differ from most in the majority of the Call of Duty community as well as the Battle Royale community. I don't enjoy Blackout. So most of the time, I'm probably not going to be playing it. Now, does this mean that I'm never going to play it? No, I probably might, you know, give it another shot when the game comes out, or you know, whenever the case is, if they extend the beta after it happened already. I don't know. But ultimately, multiplayer is going to be my game mode of choice. And the reason for this is simply just because Blackout for me is too random. I mean, sure, there are other problems with it, like legitimate problems, like having a higher time to kill with armor that is kind of frustrating to deal with, and in that aspect. There are problems with the looting system, in my opinion. It's very clunky, but those are issues that can kind of be smoothed out and will probably definitely most likely be smoothed out for launch. So that's not really a big concern of mine. That's not like a raising a red flag. But for me, the game mode itself, I don't enjoy Battle Royale games, and I kind of experienced with this in Blackout. So beforehand, I'll give a little bit of background. I probably have put somewhere in between 15 to 20 in-game hours of Fortnite, because that was back when it really like started to take off, and I wanted to see what this game was about, and it was free. So I downloaded it, played it, and, I played it for that long and just realized that I just wasn't having fun. I was getting frustrated more times than not. And the only time that I actually really had fun while playing Fortnite was with friends, but then that kind of slowly died down as it got much worse in the players and everything like that. And it just was the overall game and the Battle Royale genre in Fortnite, it just wasn't something for me, even though it was a craze that many people still enjoy to this day. So I feel like the same is true with Blackout, where I have put in a lot of time, as much as I could into this beta of Blackout to see how I like it, and I honestly just do not enjoy it, and it's mainly just because of the Battle Royale style of gameplay, where it's randomness, random loot, and, surviving, only having one life. That style of gameplay, that's slower, methodical, more thought-out gameplay, and I just don't typically enjoy that. Even if you kind of relate this back to the regular multiplayer, the game mode Search and Destroy, I don't really like that game mode either, and that's because it's more methodical and you have one life and that's it. And, in that game mode, obviously there's less kind of randomness because you get to choose your classes instead of getting random loot. But still, it still has that one life thing, which I don't really entirely enjoy. I'm more of a TDM, free-for-all domination player that tries to get, kills and kill streaks, and that's what I think Call of Duty is about, in my own personal opinion. But I can understand why Blackout is very, very popular, and will probably continue to be popular even long after the Black Ops 4 life cycle. As stated by Treyarch themselves, they plan to keep this game updated for years and years to come. But basically, I want to also reference a video that I did a few months ago, actually. I believe this was when we heard about Blackout, but we didn't know any information. We just knew it was a Battle Royale style of Call of Duty, of a game mode in Black Ops 4. And I basically said in that video that Blackout could either be really, really amazing, or it could really, really suck. And I forgot what I titled it, but maybe I'll leave it down there in a link in the description if you want to watch my thoughts on that, even before we knew any information about Blackout. I feel like my thoughts still hold true, where, if you sort of like Battle Royale, you're going to like Blackout. If you don't, then you're probably not going to like it. And I also mentioned that the randomness will kill the game. Now, for some people, they don't see this as a problem, because I've spoken with people and seen people everywhere mostly that the randomness in the game mode itself of Battle Royale and Blackout is what makes the game mode a Battle Royale. But to me, I don't like the randomness. Now, you can say all you want, well, in the multiplayer, they have supply drops, and they have had supply drops in the past, so it's unfair and random. But that was just kind of a different story for me. It's not really the same entire exact thing, because you're talking about, having a class that somebody creates, that they have their own stuff on the class. And even if you don't have that gun, you could still kind of see what they were doing, see how they were playing in the kill cams, and play that way instantly within one game. So you could play TDM. I mean, unless you're playing like Search and Destroy. But if, you're playing a respawn game mode, you can kind of see how the other player is acting and kind of have a chance to come back at that. But in Battle Royale, it's just random, because you drop into a random location every single time the game loads up, and you have loot that is randomly generated, and depending on what loot you get pretty much determines whether you're going to stay alive or not. And that's really the simple truth of it. You could argue that the gun skill matters more, but if you spawn in, and countless times I have actually spawned in where I could literally not find a gun, then you're pretty much shit out of luck, because if you can't find a gun, it doesn't matter how good your gun skills are if you don't have a weapon. So it's just the random aspect of Battle Royale frustrates me, and it was more so worse in Fortnite, actually, because in Fortnite, as you know, somebody could spam an apartment complex when you shot at them one time just so that they could save themselves, and I hated the building aspect of Fortnite as well. And in Blackout, you can't do that, which I think is, good, because it doesn't always revolve around somebody building themselves cover. You have to kind of get into a piece of cover that's already on the map. So, in that sense, it's a little bit better, but I still think that it's really random. And if I was to go in a timeline of the events that happen throughout the game, you pick a location depending on where the helicopter is, you then drop in, you have random loot, and depending on that random loot, you could either do well as with the gun skill, but I think it's more of a random loot factor. Mid-match, even with 100 players, when they activated the 100-player limit towards the end of the beta, like the way end, even with 100 players, I felt like it was just too slow for me. Like, most of the times, I'm just sitting there looting stuff, and it just got really boring. And then in the end game, it really just depended on the randomness of the gear that your opponents had left. And, and I'm saying this, I'm not trying to say all of this information by saying that I placed in the top 50 and that's all that I got. I've had games where I've come as close, I think, as number 6 or 5, so I got pretty close up there to actually winning a victory in Blackout. So it's not as if I'm just saying, oh, I keep dying, so the game mode is trash. There have been times where I've been really, really close to getting a victory, but one of the guys in the upper place when I got there had tier 3 armor, and I didn't, and that was just random luck. So, and like I said, armor can be fixed, and the leveling system can be tweaked and changed, and the looting can be fixed, but I don't like the randomness of it, and the randomness is the randomly generated loot that spawns throughout the map. No matter how you pick it up, no matter what you find, it's still randomly generated, and I don't like that myself. I would much rather have a create a class system, because you think back to regular multiplayer where you're playing TDM or Domination or whatever, it's a respawn game mode, and somebody kills you, like let's just say, for example, hypothetically, you're playing Black Ops 2, somebody kills you with a SCAR, and you could see their attachments, they got quick draw, extended mag, you could see what they have on. You could then take that information and be like, oh, that gun looks really good, I want to try it with this setup, and you could actually learn from that and take that in. But in Blackout, you can't really do that, because even though they have added kill cams and you can see kind of what they're doing, it depends on the random loot in the game and how it's going to go. And I've seen many people say that's really the experience of Battle Royale, because every game is much unlike every other game that you get into, so it's interesting. But to me, I just find it boring, in other words. When you're parachuting down, or wingsuiting down, I should say, and you get into a spot, it's fun to look around, and I should actually mention that the map itself is absolutely fantastic. It's a great idea to put a bunch of Black Ops tribute into one map. Exploring the map was a ton of fun, but unfortunately, just landing in and getting the loot, and then after you get set up a little bit, it just kind of got tedious, just kind of waiting around for the storm. Or sometimes I would be looting because I'm trying to find a gun and get caught in the storm, and now I have to try and work my way out of the storm. And I guess that's the fun part of it, but then you end up running for miles and miles, not seeing anybody. It's just, to me, I like just going after kill after kill after kill with TDM and a respawn, and then if you die, it doesn't really matter because you get to respawn back in. And even if you do somehow, let's say you're on a 30 or 20 something streak and you're trying to get a nuke and you end up dying off of it, of course you're going to be mad, but you get right back into the action after that, and at the end of the day you could still say, even though you didn't get the nuke, you had a pretty good game. But in Blackout, when you die, that's it. You lost, and then you have to quit the game, and it takes so long to find a new match. I just don't enjoy it. It's just not, and the thing about it is, it's just not for me. I could understand why so many people like it. I could understand why it's going to be a very popular game mode. This is just the start. This is just the start of Blackout, and we can't wait to see what Treyarch does in the future to make Blackout even better than it was in the beta, according to many people, and even myself included, for the main reason that I didn't even enjoy it all that much. I could definitely see that they're going to make this game mode better and keep updates coming constantly. But at the end of the day, it's just something that's not for me. So one thing I would like to say, though, is that, had Blackout, had they had the Blackout map with, firing range, estates, everything there, and they made it a big TDM or free-for-all or even objective like a domination lobby, like a big 50-on-50 battle or something like that, more akin to like a Battlefield-style gameplay, and it's like a respawn game mode, I would absolutely love that. That would be fantastic. It would be like a giant version of Call of Duty. Now, they're probably most likely not going to do this because, Blackout wasn't really designed for that, and it'd probably require so much, and we're so close to the launch. But who knows, they could add that. However, I think that the Blackout is so niche in itself as being a Battle Royale game that many people would not expect many people would probably want that change to happen if it was brought up to their attention, but otherwise most people are content and satisfied with Blackout the way it is now, so I don't really see Treyarch doing something like that. But if that was the case, if that was what Blackout was, then I would absolutely love that, especially, with create a class, so you pick your own classes and then it's a big 50-on-50 battle in Blackout. I would love that. That would be something that I would invest a lot of time in, but unfortunately, just Battle Royale is not my style. And so I think, looking at it from an objective standpoint, I can see that it's a good game mode. It's just something that I'm probably not going to be playing a whole lot, if any at all. And I'm probably going to be spending my time in the multiplayer, and especially in Zombies, because that looks really good this year, as well as other games. Of course, Red Dead 2 is coming in October, and then we're going to get the online for that in November. So there's just a ton of stuff more to play, and I'm just not going to be investing my own time when I do have time to play games into Blackout. So you could let me know your thoughts down below. I know it was kind of a longer video, but I had to get my thoughts out on it. And I know that my thoughts and opinions are going to vastly differentiate from pretty much almost everyone watching this video, because most people would agree that the game mode is excellent and that they can't wait until the full launch to play just this specific game mode. But unfortunately, I just have a different opinion, and it's just the way that I like to play. And, if you're not having fun, what's the point in gaming? Right? Like, I've seen a ton of people criticize, for example, just picking out an example here, a bunch of people criticizing Thunder for uploading or playing a certain game. Like, if he's not having fun, or he is having fun playing a certain game, why are you to judge? If you don't want to watch it, that's up to you, but you shouldn't be judging other people for playing another game and then basically threaten, in other words, that you're going to unsub. If you don't want to watch it, don't watch it. Or if you want to unsub, just unsub. You don't have to let the person know that they're doing a terrible job because they're playing something that they actually enjoy playing. So that's pretty much what I'll leave the video on. And you can let me know your thoughts and everything down below. Are you going to be playing more multiplayer this year or Blackout? Let me know that in the comments section below. And I will see you on the next one. This is NinjaGeek. I'm out. And peace.